Mo, maybe this is something that might pique your interest because we talk about the planet, we talk about resource depleting. There seems to be a drive with the millennial generation and with the Generation Z seems to be driven to the shared economy. We're now doing things more for the Instagram. You can rent a dress for a day, or you can go and have an experience at like the ice cream factory or whatever, from ice cream museum for a day. You can rent a car, a nice car for one day, and you get the experience, and you take an Instagram photo, and that's it. And it's a shared economy in that sense. So we seem to be transitioning in some ways in the right direction.
Not at all.
Okay. I know the do it for the Instagram thing is not necessarily...
Not at all. I was discussing this with a friend yesterday. You know, the proper way to solve a problem or to actually set an intention or whatever it is starts with the why, then the what, then the how. Shared economy is offering a different how for the wrong why, for the wrong what.
What is the why then?
So here's the question. Why do we dress? Why do we buy clothes?
Probably shame. Shame of being naked.
There is a bit of decency for the human.
I don't have as much of that shame as other people do.
No, but there is. So your city is cold for this time of the year, just so that you know, right?
Okay, warmth. Warmth was there. Yeah.
So this is one of them, right? The other is you really want to cover yourself somehow, right?
Oh my gosh, we would be comparing size of genitals then. Oh my.
No, we don't want to do that, and bad image. Now the question is that why you buy clothes? You want to buy a car to move from A to Z, right? From A to B. Is that why you choose a specific car? You want to buy a phone to browse the internet and answer calls. Is that why you do it? Now, consumption, most of our consumption is ego-driven. It's not need-driven at all, right? We consume not because we need, we consume because we want to show the others a side of ourselves that is true or not. Now, if you fix the why, you wouldn't need a different how.
So why would need to be for need rather than for ego?
So one of the exercises I discuss, which gets a lot of positive feedback in Solve for Happy, is an exercise I call Undress. So understand there is a utility to ego. There is a utility to ego. If you actually, ego here is not defined as arrogance. Ego is defined as your as an identity that you assume for yourself and you want the world to understand as you, right? So I am an engineer has a utility. When I tell you that, you understand that this book is not going to tell you to say right? If I was a spiritual leader, you would understand that this might be about the spiritual practice. If I tell you I'm an engineer, you understand there are going to be equations and a little bit of science in this, right? Or a lot of science in this. So there is a utility to having that identity. There is, however, ego in it. It's like if I want to convince you that I'm an engineer and that engineers are better than others and then I'm now trying to fulfill that endless attempt that started when I was 6, or actually when I was 3, when I started to jump up and down and say, Mommy, look at me, I'm doing this, right? I'm now telling Mommy and everyone else, hey, look at me, I'm great, I'm amazing. It's like, why? Why do we try to prove that much? Now,
what
if you fix the why, if you fix the why, you suddenly own your ego, but your ego doesn't own you anymore, right? And that is true success, is to realize that ego is a total illusion and that it will never actually be satisfied and that it will constantly be a moving target and that you will never, ever feel settled and peaceful as long as you're chasing ego. I work with and I teach Solve for Happy to billionaires, right? And they're still bragging to each other. It's like, when does it stop, right? So they go to Vegas and they spend $500,000 each, because they just want to show each other that, hey, I can lose $500 million. Can you? Right? They buy more and more cars, not because they need them, but because they want to say, look at me, I bought the expensive one, and so on and so forth. Ego is never satisfied. As long as you're following it, you're going to follow it for the rest of your life. Now, the question is, can you fix the why?